I am Cassidy, born and raised in Lethbridge area. I grew up on a farm in Iron Springs and moved into Lethbridge. My sister and my folks lived in Smithers, BC. Well, they moved shortly after she was born, and I was born here in Lethbridge. Grew up in a Christian home, went to church, Sunday school, went to a Christian school from K to 12. Wasn't till I was 13 till I really knew God for myself. Growing up in a Christian environment, I knew who he was, but having a relationship with him wasn't something I had yet. So I guess some backstory there. When I was born, I was a super fussy baby, probably mostly because I was really sick, and they didn't know that till a few months later. So doctors didn't know about it for a while. They finally looked into it a bit more, and they found out that I had severe chronic neutropenia. So like with the neutrophils, the white blood cells, I wasn't making any. So growing up, it was kind of rough. You know, you have this disorder that, you know, you look fine, but you know, you're sick a lot in the hospital, way more than any kid should be. And yeah, I had a side effect from the medication was an enlarged spleen. So with that, I couldn't do a whole lot of sports, just in case I got hit wrong. That could have ended terribly. In 2008, I think it was August, maybe a little bit before that, I was getting some regular blood work done, and it showed that my white blood cell levels were normal. Like, not my normal, but like a normal person normal, which wasn't possible with my condition. So we thought, okay, they screwed up on that blood test. We'll go back the next day, like check that again. Same thing, like my levels were normal. So I was ecstatic because I thought like, I'm healed, I'm done with this, I can be a normal person. And then in August, we got a call, we got to come into Calgary, we have the results back. So we headed up to Calgary, and yeah, it wasn't a normal visit by any means. My parents were called in first, we talked to, and my sister and I waited a bit, and then we were called in. And it wasn't in the clinic itself, it was a side room. It was just another hospital room. And we were told I had cancer. I had acute myeloid leukemia. So that is a cancer of the white blood cells specifically. Then came probably the hardest part of our lives, preparing for a stem cell transplant. They found 2 possible donors pretty fast, which is kind of rare. So one was chosen, and to prepare for the stem cell transplant, we had to do 1 million tests. What are my lungs doing? What are my eyes doing? My liver, my kidneys, like what are my bones look like? Tested every single thing, so a bunch of trips to Calgary for that. So a couple weeks after that, I was admitted to the Alberta Children's Hospital in Calgary for my stem cell transplant. So standard treatment there, you get chemo, lose your hair, they kill off what cancer that they can. And then I had my stem cell transplant, which is, you know, it's literally just an infusion. They have a bag of cells from the donor, and then it just goes in through the Broviac, like it wasn't anything at all. So much preparation for that, and a lot of waiting after that. You're supposed to stay in the hospital for 100 days just so that they can monitor you to make sure nothing's going wrong. I got out day 99. As far as transplants go, mine was as smooth as it could go. Stayed in Calgary for a bit after that at the Ronald McDonald House there, just to be monitored relatively closely yet. Yeah, went home, I think it was a month after, I can't quite remember. But a couple weeks after that, I got a rash. We went to the doctor. It seemed pretty normal. They gave me a steroid cream. They're like, this is minor, we'll just deal with it this way. Yeah, rash got a lot worse. It turned into a lot more than that. I ended up vomiting and diarrhea, and then it progressed to just being blood. So they brought me to Calgary, and none of the doctors there knew what was going on. I was in a bed in extreme pain, and there was just like 7 or 8 doctors standing around the bed wondering what was going on. Was it a parasite? Was it an infection? Like, what's going on here? They later found that it was graft versus host disease, GVHD. So that's when my body attacked the new cells, because this is foreign, this doesn't belong here, your body wants to get rid of it. But while it's doing that, it's destroying everything. So it took them a while to figure out what it was, because it had advanced so quickly. So I had a long healing process ahead. With the GVHD, I had lost my stomach lining and my lower intestinal lining. And yeah, that was a long road. I had gone down to 67 pounds, basically skin and bone, going in at 105. So that was quite a bit. Yeah, I think I got in December, came home for a few weeks, and then stayed that whole time in Calgary just to heal and figure out medications and stuff. Got out again in November, so almost a full year up in Calgary. And then going back to school, that was weird. You know, your life kind of goes on without you. So the people I knew, they had grown up for 2 years. And I had gone through this life-altering trauma and had matured a lot differently, have seen things that, you know, no kid should have to see or go through. So fitting in again was kind of weird. Yeah, going back to school was hard. I isolated myself, and even after graduation, I isolated myself. I was comfortable now. I had been alone for 2 years, didn't need anyone else really. But that wasn't who I was. I was a people person. I'm an extrovert for the most part. And it took college drive to get me out of that bubble. But where God found me was in that hospital room, lying on that bed, not really able to do anything else. My pastor at the time and his wife gave me a devotional from Johnny Erickson Tata. She had gone through so much. She was paralyzed from the neck down, and she was still doing pretty much anything the average person could do. Like, she painted with her mouth, and her story just through that devotional, like, okay, there are people like me that are Christians and believe in God. And I kind of met him through that devotional and getting a new grip on my life. Feeling the sun on my face again after spending months in a hospital. Eating again after 3 months of not being able to eat anything. First time I had a burger again, I cried. It was so good. I was able to be there in a different way for my dad when he had cancer, and for other people who just need someone who knows like what questions are going to be asked, or, you know, where do we go in the hospital kind of thing. So that was, I don't know, a lot of good came out of that trauma, which is kind of surprising because it was rough. It was really hard. Yeah, would I want to do it again? No. Am I glad that it did happen? Yeah, I am now, because I can look back at the puzzle pieces of my life and see like God has placed these things in order for this to happen, for other things to be available to different people now. So yeah, that's mostly my story. up.